Hello and welcome to The Happy Goddess. And today we're talking about Duchess Dior and Shamarcus Carr and their very toxic relationship. Now a lot of people who don't practice voodoo, obia, or hoodoo are very much so chiming in saying that they can see demonic spirits over them, over these two individuals. Oh, there must have been some, spell. Their spells backfired on them. But that's not how spells backfire. Now, as I started to dig into the situation, he revealed that he did do a love spell on her, but he reversed it. She did working on him to bring bad luck and to make him broke. So neither one of those spells, well, the spell to make the one broke, wouldn't influence a backfire of this significance where, they would end up both, gone. And him reversing the love work, well, that pretty much ended the spell. So there was no spells really in play that would cause this. This is just a result of two very toxic people that should have never been dating, married, and had any kind of kids together. They should have definitely parted ways a long time ago. So let's get into this, okay? All right, let's see what we got here.
You always try to throw it out there. Oh, he broke. Bitch, you playing on the too.
See?
What you talking about? You playing with it. You playing with it.
What is this? You playing with witchcraft too? What's your point? So he is saying, yeah, you prayed on me to be broke. You prayed on it. So you heard her saying that he did a love spell on her. And in one of the lives, he said, and I think it's the same live, he says that he did do one on her, but he had it reversed. So that wasn't in play. See? I went and paid the girl to get the gosh darn thing, get it reversed. So he got the working reversed. So there was no love spell in play because he had it reversed. Once you reverse a spell, that's the end of that spell. She was the only one that was still doing magic on him as far as, hexing his money and his luck. Well, damn. Well, you could probably put that in play that by her hexing his money or giving him bad luck, this would be the result of the bad luck. Bad luck. Yeah, that could be it. That might have an influence. But when I asked when I pulled some cards and I looked at the pendulum, it's saying that didn't take a factor into the outcome that happened with them. This is a result of, honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is the result of they have been preying on people to get by. They have been doing a lot of street stuff that involved 187 people especially friends, and doing a lot of setups. And when you do that type of stuff, there is a lot of karmatic energy and blowback with that type of work that they were doing. Then you add in the factor that they're very super toxic, very petty. They believe in get back. They believe in snitching on each other. You combine all of those things, you have a barricade ready to go off. Okay, you took out allegedly your best friend, a childhood friend, and then you went to the funeral and was in these people's faces. When you take a life, you are putting negative energy on yourself. Especially if that person, was innocent. You're taking all these people's lives that you were friends with you. You're setting up people. This all it's worse than any form of magic you could do because this all has karma with it. And the karma definitely came back and it blew back on them big time.
Get a reversal. I try to get a reversal. So when I got there to get the damn reversal shit, you know what I'm saying? She got there to get mad. Don't want me to do, oh, you ain't gonna do this and do that. What the fuck is I supposed to do? You cry, complain about me being broke, you don't want me to got there to get right. I ain't never been no broke, because I always got money. When I met you, bitch, I had money.
She said you broke now. Lord have mercy, these two was toxic.
You see what I'm saying? As soon as this whole came to my life, everything went down here. Everything. So here it is. The folks told me, every time I get some money, I lose it. I ain't even got to gamble. Everybody know I gamble. I ain't even got to gamble. So boom, when they say, hey, okay, you pray about but say he your search history every fucking day. The same shit with Quinn. That was a lot of what he said about shit with Quinn. You snow through that stole at the land at the criminal while I was recording her. Quinn did everything. Who is that? Hold on, you got it. You said how he said, set that shit up for him to talk, him so you can rob him.
There you go. And that's where the whole end of everything went down. Okay, it wasn't just the fact that she talked about Obi Wilson. No, it was also the fact that it started, the catalyst of all of this started with her, this right here. For her to talk to him so you can rob corn. See what I'm saying? This is where it all fell down. And this is where her life was sealed. This very moment, her life was sealed. Because she already gave up information that she was supposed to keep to herself. This has nothing to do with voodoo, witchcraft, or them putting spells on each other. This is simply about her talking about street knowledge that she had no place talking about. Simple put. When she started talking about all the people they set up, that was the end of her and him. Because he knew that those people were going to come back. And when they came back, if they caught her slipping somewhere in the street, they were going to use her to get to him. If they got him, they was definitely going to get her. So either which way, it was both a lost cause. It was like, basically, I might as well take us both out so our child could live and they don't come back and take us all out. He knew this. When you look in his eyes, people say, oh, it looked at demonic and this, that, and the other. No, he looked at very, what is the word? Almost like he looked very like, this is our faith. Like, okay, this is our faith. This is what it's going to be. Like, he knew, like, as she was talking, like, you could already see, like, he was like, yeah, there ain't no going back to this. There's no going back. And he even said this to her, like, you ain't gonna walk out of here alive. So he was telling her, yeah, you can talk, but you know that you're not going to make it out of here alive. This has nothing to do with no witchcraft. This is about toxic people that did dirt with each other, and she was spilling the dirt that she had no business telling. So Duchess Dior, who was only 27 years old, and husband Shamarcus Carr had a heated Facebook Live argument on June 14th, accusing each other of cheating and STDs, from herpes to HIV. During the stream, Duchess threatened to reveal a name, Obi Wilson, which seemed to push him over the edge. He responded, "You're going to make me unalive you." Within hours, Duchess was found powed and killed at home. Shamarcus fled with her car and later died by suicide during a police chase. Now, this is the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and Wayne County authorities are investigating. With autopsies are pending. Now, the nature of toxic relationships, are public live streams often hide unseen private abuse. The couple showed two faces, viral and vulnerable. Duchess' public plea for help was ignored until it was too late. But friends and family are saying, like, look, this was just a regular night for them. They were always airing each other's business out. They were always toxic. There were always threats. There was always, DV issues. So we told her to leave him. We told him to leave her. And they would just keep returning back to each other. Now, this was a very toxic dynamic that was filled with jealousy, corrosion, verbal threats, emotional, volatility. It really escalated into violence and basically ended in double tragedy. Now, when I looked at their cards, one was the Five of Cups, which indicates deep regret, grief, emotional despair, the aftermath of jealousy and mistrust. They had the Tower card, sudden crash, collapse of illusions. Like there was nothing left at this point. They were revealing everything from the herpes to the bumps to, people that they messed around with, the setups, everything. And then, of course, the Tower card of the violent ending. You have the Devil card. Yes, the Devil card came up and it represents codependency, obsession with each other, entrapment because they both, didn't want to leave each other even though they knew they were toxic. Even, Carr, Shamarcus knew that they were very toxic, that he was talking of divorce and wanting to divorce from her and leave her alone, but she didn't even want the divorce. So each was feeding the other's worst behavior. Okay, then we have the King of Swords. That was Shamarcus was the King of Swords, and then you had the Queen of Cups was Duchess Dior. So it was a clash between cold logic and deep emotions heightened by public scrutiny. So they would go on these Facebook lives and stuff, and they like to play their whole thing out right there for everybody to watch, for public scrutiny to watch. So the next card was the Eight of Swords, feelings of entrapment for both of them. They felt like they were stuck with each other, believing there was no escape until death became the only exit. So this is how they felt about each other. I really want y'all to hear that they had the Tower card. So the Tower card was always going to end in some violent ending. They had like the Bonnie and Clyde, but the hood toxic version of Bonnie and Clyde. So their ending was always going to be very tragic, no matter what. There was nothing that showed in their cards that there was ever a thought of detouring from this. That Eight of Swords, a feeling entrapment. There was a feeling of entrapment for both of them. So both of them felt like they couldn't escape each other. But they believed this. They really believed that there was no escape until death became the only option for these two. So spiritual lesson and practical skills from this is the name dropping Obi was the breaking point. But it wasn't just that. It was her also when she started to talk about the setups with Carr, with Korn, and her friend, and her involvement in the setup that he, had a hand in. That was the icing on the cake. That was it for them. He already had made it into his mind that, there's no coming back from this. His look and his demeanor shifted from that point on. And as she kept talking, and his anger and everything started to escalate in his mind. That he had determined, yeah, that yeah, I'm gonna let her talk, but this is gonna be the end of us. This is gonna be end. This was gonna be the end. So it was the first name drop where he shifted his energy with her. Then when she dropped Obi, then it was just like, yo, you've taken it way beyond too far. You've taken it too far. Now, this was something that you was never supposed to talk about. You knew the ins and out of this deal. Why are you talking about this specific thing? Why are you bringing it up? Because you know, bringing this up, there's no going back for us at this point. But they were on this path any which way. So even if this wasn't about a Obi, even if it wasn't about corn, even if it wasn't about whatever the HIV, the herpes, the whatever the thing, there were other dirt that they did. There was other stuff that they did. Everything was already in motion towards this violent ending. No matter what, the outcome was going to be this ending. If it wasn't June 14th, it was going to be July 23rd. It was going to be December 25th. It was going to be any which way you look at it. The Grim Reaper, the death was already on them. And you can look at it and see that that energy was on them. If you want to think of an energy that was on them, it wasn't demonic. It was death. There was a haze around these two people as they were talking. Okay, y'all, there was definitely that. So in a digital fame, with this digital fame, you know, domestic violence hides in plain sight. We saw all the warning signs, and the warning signs were 100% real. As we watched it, we were like, girl, why didn't you leave? Girl, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you stop this? He was trying to give you hints. He was trying to give you hints. You wasn't taking the hints. You weren't taking the clues. You just kept egging it on. But that tells you that this is the type of toxicity that was with these two. Neither one of them knew how to stop before things went too far. Now, this needs to be a very much so learning lesson. And I hope they turn this into a Lifetime movie because, child, this was just horrible, the ending. But this is not surprising when you have that level of toxicity between two people. When you are dealing and taking people's lives for money, and money is the root, considered one of the roots of all evil, and you're doing this, taking people's lives. You standing and you're standing in front of people in caskets. You're talking to their parents. You're talking to people and acting like you're innocent and this, that, and other. And these mothers are crying about losing their babies in such ways. Those tears, those actions, everything have consequences to them. And in the end, they paid the ultimate price. And that is the story, and that is a psychic reading about Duchess Dior and her husband, Shamarcus Carr. Y'all drop a comment below and tell me what y'all think about this situation. Okay, y'all? All right, y'all. Bye.